If you're looking for an amazing gaming PC in 2025, this Best Prebuilt Gaming PC 2025 buying guide is going to cover everything you need to know and will make specific product recommendations for best budget prebuilt gaming PC, best 1440p prebuilt gaming PC, and best 4K prebuilt gaming PC in 2025. Let's jump into it. Now, the most important thing to get right when buying the best prebuilt gaming PC in 2025, it's the graphics card, or GPU for short. Our graphics card needs to be fast enough for the resolution we want to play at, 1080p, 1440p, or 4K. And your graphics card needs enough video RAM, or VRAM for short, to run the latest titles. That's different from system RAM, which we'll cover in a second. For 1440p gaming, I recommend 12GB of VRAM. For 4K gaming, I recommend 16GB of VRAM. And for budget gaming, we'll see some 8GB GPUs as well. For graphics card speeds, just remember some games, they're super easy to run, like CS2 or Valorant, and you'll get tons of FPS even on weaker graphics cards, while other games really stress the graphics card out, like Black Myth Wukong or Cyberpunk 2077. For 4K or crazy high 1440p FPS, the NVIDIA RTX 5090 and RTX 5080, those are the fastest graphics cards available right now. The RTX 5070 Ti and Radeon RX 9070 XT are extremely strong 1440p graphics cards, or good for solid 4K gaming at ultra details. The RX 9070 16GB, it's good for either 4K or high 1440p FPS. The RTX 5070 12GB, it's strong at 1440p, but might be VRAM limited at 4K. Dropping down to solid 1440p graphics cards, we have the RX 9060 XT 16GB and the RTX 5060 Ti 16GB graphics cards, which have similar performance. There are also 8GB versions of each of these graphics cards that I would avoid unless it's for a budget pre-built gaming PC. We also have the Intel Arc B580 12GB, which is a good graphics card for about 60 FPS 1440p gaming, but slower than the two previous graphics cards mentioned. Dropping down to 1080p budget graphics cards, we have a mix of new and older GPUs like the RTX 5060 8GB, RX 9060 XT 8GB, RTX 5050 8GB, and if you can still find it, the RTX 3060 12GB. The second most important thing is the CPU. We want a gaming CPU that's fast enough it doesn't bottleneck our graphics card. Now, AMD Ryzen CPUs, they become the most popular CPUs in 2025, and the fastest of those are the 9800X3D, followed closely by the 7800X3D, both of which have 3D V-Cache, which is very good for gaming. Now, you'll find these two CPUs on the highest performance pre-built gaming PCs in 2025 with an RTX 5070 Ti or RX 9070 XT or higher graphics card. Just below them in terms of gaming performance are the Ryzen 7000 and 9000 series CPUs, and this is typically the Ryzen 9700X, 7700X, 7700, or 7600X, or 7600. Ryzen 9 CPUs like the 9950X or 9900X, they're really just for professional workstation PCs, as they don't help gaming performance over a CPU like the 9700X, and it's kind of just a waste of money if you mostly game. We also have Intel CPUs with similar performance like the Core Ultra 7 265K or 13th and 14th generation CPUs with a K in the name, like the 14600K. Dropping down to a more budget gaming CPU, we have the Ryzen 5600 and 5700X and Intel CPUs like the i5-14400 or even i5-12400 or Core Ultra 5 CPUs. There are CPUs we want to avoid as they hurt gaming performance. This is mostly the Ryzen 5500, 5700 non-X or 5600G. We also want to avoid the Intel i3 CPUs, as well as anything I haven't mentioned here. They're just too weak for a new system in 2025. Let's talk about how much RAM you need in 2025. We'd love to get 32GB of RAM, and we will find that on most pre-built gaming PCs above $1,200 US. For pre-built gaming PCs around $1,000 and less, we'll probably have to get the minimum, which is 16GB of RAM. Unless you do really high-end professional work, you do not need more than 32GB of RAM. It's really just a waste of money. For RAM speed, systems using DDR4 should have 3200 or 3600 speed RAM, and for DDR5 systems, we'd love to see 5600 or 6000 speed RAM. One often overlooked thing is the CPU cooling. You don't want to thermally throttle your FPS away. The CPU cooler, the bigger the CPU, the more cooling it needs. Downdraft style coolers, those are fine for lower heat CPUs like the Ryzen 9600X, 5600X, and things like the i5-12400. But we'd love to see single tower coolers or liquid coolers for the Ryzen 7 CPUs like the 7700X or 9700X, along with the more budget Intel CPUs like the i5-14400. Ryzen X 3D CPUs and higher-end Intel CPUs with a K in their name like the Ultra 7 265K, we really want a dual tower air cooler or at least a 240mm all-in-one liquid cooler. In 2025, liquid coolers are more popular. They just survive the shipping process better than those big air coolers. And finally, how upgradable is your pre-built gaming PC going to be? If it's built with off-the-shelf parts like I would use a regular PC builder, that's called a system integrator. And there's lots of them from ABS to Skytech to CyberPower PC and others. Those systems should be fully upgradable. Then we have systems built with custom-made parts specific to that manufacturer, and we call those OEM pre-builts, like HP, Dell, Lenovo, and others. Those PCs, they might have parts that aren't standard and they aren't fully upgradable. I mostly recommend fully upgradable pre-built gaming PCs built with system integrators, but sometimes an OEM gaming PC is a really good deal. If that's the case, I'll label it down in the video description as OEM. All right, let's jump into the best pre-built gaming PC 2025 product recommendations. Links to everything are down in the video description. I'm gonna break those out by 4K best pre-built gaming PC, 1440p best pre-built gaming PC, and budget pre-built gaming PCs. We update those links down there every couple of days, so check it out for the best deals right now. A fire emoji, that means it's a great deal. 2 fire emojis means it's an amazing deal for the price. Let's jump into the best RTX 5090 gaming PCs in 2025. So we're looking at pre-builts here. The good news is, unlike earlier this year where you couldn't even get a 5090 and the prices were crazy, prices have come down. Now you can pick one up, I'd say anywhere between $5,000 on the high end to about $4,000. Hopefully that will continue to go down as the year goes on. Let's start off at the top, kind of a more premium system here. You absolutely want to get a Ryzen 9800 X3D if you're a gamer and you have a 5090. There's no reason to either accept a slower CPU or an Intel CPU here at all. Possibly 9950 X3D if you're also a high-end production user and you do like professional video editing and things like that. But honestly, the 9800 X3D, if you're just an amateur doing that work, this is gonna be way more powerful than you need. And this is the fastest gaming CPU out there. So this is the Stormcraft gaming PC. They're a relatively new brand, but they've got pretty good reviews and pretty good customer service from what I can tell so far of their reviewed units out there. $4,700, this is over at Newegg. This is about what you're gonna spend for a high-end kind of Atrium style case like this. Now this one is a 2TB SSD, 32 gigs of DDR5 6000 RAM, all that's great, and a 360mm all-in-one liquid cooler. The PC looks amazing, right? It looks absolutely amazing. This is in the Atrium style case, the fish tank style case, whatever you want to call it, for $4,700. The good thing about buying at Newegg, and I do like buying at Newegg pre-builts, one of the best places you can buy if you're in the US. They're a US retailer, also in Canada. They tend to list everything in the system specs, so you can find out a lot more details about their systems there. Moving over to a listing on Amazon, let's check out the Zotac Mech. Now, Zotac is a GPU maker. They make NVIDIA GPUs, but like MSI, like Gigabyte, and some others, they also assemble their own gaming PCs out there. They do a pretty good job. So this one right here, $4,500. This is a Ryzen 9800 X3D with an RTX 5090, but they're gonna guarantee you which 5090 you get, along with 32 gigs of DDR5 RAM, 2TB NVMe SSD, and a 360mm all-in-one liquid cooler. If we scroll down here, they're gonna go ahead and obviously they're gonna give you one of their GPUs, and it's gonna be the 5090 Amp Extreme Infinity. This is one of the higher end 5090s that they make. Let's take a look at Newegg's in-house brand, that's ABS. Now Newegg is one of the largest PC parts retailers in the United States, so sometimes they take their PC parts and they assemble them into a pre-built. That's the ABS brand here. As a result, they often come up with pretty good price to performance configurations here. Not always the flashiest. You can see this is a traditional front intake PC case, but it's gonna cost you a lot less. If you're looking for that more Atrium kind of cool look to it, yeah, spend $500 or $600 more. But if you're just looking for the best price to performance, or maybe you like front intake PC cases better, $4,000 is one of the cheapest RTX 5090 gaming PCs out there right now. This is a 9800 X3D, 2 thumbs up on the CPU. 6400 megahertz RAM is absolutely fine, 32 gigs of it. And then it's got a 2TB NVMe SSD along with a 360mm all-in-one liquid cooler. But let me tell you the thing that I really like about the ABS brand. Not only do they obviously provide probably a little bit more value, although the configurations are a little bit more kind of utilitarian, they also tell you exactly what PC parts you're gonna get. So rather than just saying, hey, you're gonna get an AMD motherboard or a B850 motherboard, they're gonna tell you this is the MSI Pro B850-P Wi-Fi. Same thing with the CPU cooler. They're going to tell you exactly what the model number is, the PSU, and everything else. So I do really like that. Let's jump into the best 4K pre-built gaming PCs in 2025. Remember, links for everything are down in the video description. Check them out. And I will say, obviously, the 5090, its own category. You can play that 1440p or 4K. But the same with these GPUs. We're looking for a 5080, a 5070 Ti, 9070 XT, or a 9070 for 4K capable gaming PCs. Obviously, you'll get a higher FPS if you go to 1440p, if that's what you want to do. Now, let's start off here. What's the first thing you notice with RTX 5080 gaming PCs? That's right, $1,300 cheaper than the 5090 PCs we were just looking at. And this is the premium ones. That was one of the cheapest 5090s. So this is thousands of dollars cheaper for a very premium system with an RTX 5080 with 16 gigabytes of VRAM, plenty to play all the latest title at 4K, including ray tracing, a high-end ray tracing out there. And this is gonna start with a Ryzen 9800X 3D. I think a 7800X 3D or even like a 9700X, 7700X would also be enough for this, but obviously the 9800X 3D, it's gonna get you the most out of your RTX 5080. We've got 32 gigs of DDR5, 6000 speed RAM, and all the other fixings in a really nice, that is the Montech XR case I recommend for PC builders all the time. Skytech uses it in their pre-built. It's a really, really phenomenal PC case. But speaking of Skytech, I really do like Skytech as a brand. They have good customer service. All the units that have been reviewed independently look really, really good from them. So 2 thumbs up to Skytech, $2,769 over at Amazon. All right, sticking with the Skytech theme here, another PC case that I really like is the Montech King 95. That's the curved atrium style case right here. More premium than the case we were just looking at. But the drop down in price here to $2,499 mostly represents a difference in CPU horsepower. So instead of a Ryzen 9800X 3D, we've gone to a Ryzen 7700X. Perfectly fine CPU. It's pretty powerful, not just in terms of gaming, but other applications as well with 8 cores on it. But you're not going to get the super high-end XVD gaming CPU, and you're going to save a couple of $100 in the process. So maybe this is more of a middle ground for what you're looking for, but still you're going to get 32 gigs of DDR5 RAM, and you're going to get a 360 millimeter all-in-one liquid cooler in a really, really nice package for about $2,500. So we drop down a GPU tier, relatively good performance still at 4K or 1440p. So an RTX 5070 Ti or RX 9070 XT 16 gigabyte. Now, both of those GPUs are almost identical in terms of their performance, both at 4K and 1440p. In terms of their raw horsepower, the 5070 Ti, slightly better ray tracing and like path trace games, high-end ray tracing kind of stuff. So you're going to pay a little bit more for the 5070 Ti. Just know that than you will for the 9070 XT PCs. Let's start with this one. This is just a kind of a crazy deal right now. Not only does it come with a free monitor that I'm not really familiar with, so who knows what you're going to get there, but it does have a 10% off promo code. So it comes out to like $2,200 basically after you take $245 off of this. So that's really, really good. You're going to get this for $2,200, and it's another ABS system. ABS does a great job. This time they're using a white case. Again, it's that same thermal take, I think, style case. Maybe it's a GAM Dias case here. And then you're going to get a 360 millimeter all-in-one liquid cooler, a 9800X 3D CPU, so huge on the CPU horsepower there, and then 32 gigabytes of DDR5 6000 RAM, along with a 2 terabyte NVMe SSD. That's all really, really good stuff. And not only that, it looks pretty amazing, and it's pretty affordable in terms of a high-end system for about $2,200. I literally just found this deal just a second ago. This is a crazy deal. I don't know if you're necessarily going to find them this cheap, but this one's on sale. This is the iBuyPower. iBuyPower, another big brand, CyberPower PC you've also probably heard of in the past. This is with a Ryzen 7800X 3D, which to me is all you really need for a 5070 Ti. I really don't think you need to jump up to the 9800X 3D. If you disagree with me, you can buy the other PC. But for $1,900, this is a crazy one because you get 32 gigs of system RAM, which is great. 1 terabyte on the NVMe, so that does kind of whittle away a little bit at the value, but still 1 terabyte's fine. Adding an NVMe SSD, by the way, should be really, really easy on some of these motherboards now. It comes in just an absolute crazy good case. I love this case by iBuyPower. It's basically got glass on the front, on the side, and on the top. A little bit less airflow as a result of that, but still, it looks absolutely amazing. This is going to be a good gaming PC for about $1,900. Moving over to a PC with an AMD Radeon RX 9070 XT 16 gigabyte. Remember, it's the same performance as the 5070 Ti for all intents and purposes. It's just made by AMD Radeon, and this generation has been really, really good for them. This has got 16 gigs of VRAM, but look at the price, $1,749. They are just massively undercutting NVIDIA on these graphics cards. That's why I would lean towards this if you're way more value oriented. Why spend $2,200 where for $500 cheaper, go out and get yourself an OLED gaming monitor and you're off to the races. 32 gigabytes of DDR5 RAM, 6000 speed is absolutely great. 1 terabyte NVMe SSD. I wish they came with 2, but again, 1 terabyte will certainly get you started. And like I said, adding a 1 terabyte or 2 terabyte NVMe SSD in the future is super easy to do. With a Ryzen 7800X3D, which is super fast gaming CPU, 7800X3D is absolutely fine for a really, really good price. Here's another crazy good deal. This is iBuyPower again. And this is in their Height Y40 PC case. This is one of the most sought after PC cases last year. It's still one of the best PC cases out there. It's an absolutely amazing one. And they're actually going to go ahead and they're going to vertically mount the GPU for you on this one, which is phenomenal. This is going to be an absolute showstopper of a PC case and a gaming PC for you. It's going to have a 240 millimeter all-in-one liquid cooler. It's going to have the RX 9070 XT, and this is going to use a Ryzen 9700X. That's the current kind of 8-core CPU that they've got, the 9700X. Roughly the same performance as the 7700X, maybe it's about 5% faster. Not as fast as the 7800X3D. It's not an X3D gaming CPU, but still quite fast for gaming, and I think fine for the 9070 XT, especially if you're going to play 1440p or 4K with it. 32 gigs of system RAM, the 240 millimeter all-in-one liquid cooler, which I already mentioned. These are a really good package for $1,700. Let's jump into the best 1440p pre-built gaming PCs in 2025. Now you're looking to spend here $1,600 all the way down to about $900, but obviously the more you spend, the better GPU you should get. The top-end GPUs we're looking for here, the RTX 5070, the RX 9070 non-XT, but 16 gigabytes of VRAM. I do like that one a little bit better. Then we've got the 5060 Ti and the 9060 XT, 16 gigabyte versions. Don't buy the 8 gigabyte versions unless you're a super budget shopper. And then we've got the Intel Arc B580 as well, 12 gigabyte. Now, this is the Skytech Azure gaming PC. This is a great configuration here. Check those links down in the video description for all the current best deals right now. But I just found this one for $1,529. It has an i7-14700F, which is actually a really good gaming CPU for this price point and really strong in terms of multi-threaded performance too. If you want to get into Blender animation or if you want to get into any kind of video editing, things like that, really, really good and very strong for gaming for this GPU, which is the RTX 5070, 360 millimeter all-in-one liquid cooler in the really cool Montech XR PC case with a 1 terabyte NVMe and 32 gigs of DDR5 5600 RAM. Perfectly adequate. I love this case. They're adding a digital readout to the side. That is so cool. You can put your CPU temp here, your GPU temp, whatever else you want. I absolutely love that. $1,529 with the promo code right now, pretty good price. If you're looking to shed some of the premium features and move into something a little bit cheaper with similar performance, check out this one. This is the Skytech Gaming Blaze 4. So all we're really doing here is we're moving over to a Ryzen 7700 CPU, equal in performance to the one we were just looking at, but we're losing the 360 millimeter all-in-one liquid cooler in favor of a really cheap tower air cooler. Absolutely fine for the CPU, but it's just not as cool looking. And then we're losing that Atrium style case and we're gonna get a standard front intake PC case instead. We're coming down a little bit on the RAM speed, 2 to 5200 speed. Again, probably about the same performance as we just saw, but obviously we're losing some of the premium features to save some money to get to $1,400. Now we're dropping down in terms of GPU power and all, obviously to save a little bit of money here, and we're either looking for the RTX 5060 Ti or RX 9060 XT 16 gigabyte versions. Don't buy the 8 gigabyte versions of those GPUs. Basically, they get VRAM bottlenecked on a lot of games. Those are budget GPUs. I don't even know why they make them, to be quite honest. Instead, we are looking for the 16 gigabyte versions. I'll say that the 5060 Ti ones are way kind of expensive because they have the same performance as the 9060 XT. I'm going to show you the difference here, and these are some of the cheapest models I can find of both these. They're both made by Skytech. Skytech is just killing it at the low end right now, or the mid-range. So both of these are going to have a Ryzen 7700. This one's $1,329 with the RTX 5060 Ti 16 gigabyte. Now I'm going to click the thing. It's the same picture basically, so it looks the same. Again, Ryzen 7700. This with the 9060 XT 16 gigabyte. This one's $1,129. So my strong recommendation is pick this one up. $200 is a gaming monitor. $200 is a lot of money out there. They both have a 1 terabyte NVMe SSD, 32 gigs of system RAM on them, and they both come in the really nice Skytech or Montech rather XR PC case with a nice budget tower air cooler that looks amazing to it. $1,129, we're almost at $1,000. Totally crazy for this level of performance. Meanwhile, on the RTX 5060 Ti side, $1,329. Hopefully over time, those prices will converge a little bit. But right now, I think the RX 9060 XT models are really the ones to pick up. Now we're dropping into the best pre-built gaming PCs under $1,000. In fact, this is $809 after that promo code right now. This is a crazy good deal. Don't know how long this will last. Typically, this PC, $899 would be an excellent price for it. I have seen these closer to about $1,000 as well. Now, this is the ABS Cyclone. The GPU that we're going to go with here is the Intel Arc B580, which has 12 gigabytes of VRAM, which is plenty for 1440p gaming. It's got really good frame rates. It's not as fast as the 9060 XT or the 5060 Ti, 16 gigabyte out there, but it's really, really good for 1440p gaming. This one comes with 32 gigs of RAM. Oftentimes, right around $1,000, suddenly we just kind of lose out, and it's mostly 16 gigabyte systems. So 32 gigs of RAM is 2 thumbs up here, and it's going to have an i5-13400F, which is a great CPU. It's a little bit stronger CPU for this GPU, which does have a little bit more CPU overhead than some of the other similar GPUs. Otherwise, I think this is an absolutely great system. Again, it's that front intake PC case, but for $809 after that promo code, really, really crazy deal. Getting into the best cheap pre-built gaming PC in 2025, and this is tough right now in the market. Hopefully, as the year goes on, we'll see the price of RTX 5050 and RTX 5060 gaming PCs come down. Right now, the cheapest one that I can find as a reliable brand name out there, obviously there's off brands that you can buy, you can save $50 or $60. What happens then if something doesn't work, then you're taking a big gamble, is something like this. This is a Zotac Mech, and it comes in a really nice PC case. I can't believe it. Including the digital readout, that's crazy, and a budget tower air cooler. Now, this is an RTX 5050. It's a 1080p GPU. I would not try this at 1440p unless you have really super easy to run games with it. 16 gigabytes of DDR4 RAM is absolutely fine. Ryzen 5500, I know I said I don't recommend that CPU, mostly because it's PCIe Gen 3. I don't think it's really going to matter with this GPU as much. This is a slower GPU, so I think you're going to be okay. You'll probably lose a little bit of performance with it being PCIe Gen 3, but overall, $805. It's not absolutely terrible. You're getting a gaming PC, probably capable of playing at least things at 1080p medium details most of the time at pretty good frame rates. $805. Again, we'd love to see this come down closer to $700, even $600, but there are kind of minimum price points out there to just assemble and ship stuff. So maybe this is about the best we could do. So check out those other values listed in the video description. I will keep finding them. Remember, everything is linked down in the video description. We're going to update those every couple of days for the best deals. We also have great videos down there linked for best gaming monitor in 2025, so check it out. If you got value out of this video, please give it a like. It makes a huge difference to the channel, and we'll catch you on the next one.